we've talked about discipline. We discussed the discipline matrix more than really how is the discipline affecting the job, affecting both morale and the retention, causing people to leave because they feel like they're being treated unfairly. And, again, just watching the news, watching what comes out online, speaking to former members of the service, speaking to current members of the service. A lot of people talk to John and Eric, and they get a lot of information that is completely credible and seems to always pan out. They talk about, breaking rumors, breaking unconfirmed this, that, and then, sure enough, within days, it's all coming out because a lot of people watch The Finest Unfiltered, and the news media watches The Finest Unfiltered. They do their digging, and the next thing you know, it pops up in the Post, the Daily News, and here and there. So one of the things that's coming out is really excessive discipline in the NYPD, and what we consider excessive discipline. From our time on the job, we spent 2/3 of our careers as executives, so we've dealt with a lot of discipline on this job, where we've had to adjudicate discipline, where we've had to give discipline. It comes both ways. Just before we go any further, Bobby's asking, where do we order the T-shirts? You can go into the link on the show description, Bobby, right here on YouTube, and there's a link to BarStool's Sports where they have the shirts. It'll bring you right to the page with the shirts. So, but yeah, so a lot of it's going on, and it's really, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, it's killing morale. It's driving people away from the job. It's driving people to not want the job. Also, what's your initial take on all of this?
So, originally I was in opposition to John and Eric, right? Because they always said it's all internal things that affect police officers' morale. And I often said, well, I thought there was a lot of external things that also affect them. But when they spoke about it the other day on the podcast, they actually made a really, really great point that there's always been external problems, right? There's always been external pressures that have been put on the job. And you know what police do? They adapt and they overcome. So they're always capable of dealing with the things, and we still do our job. But now, like you just said, there's major internal issues that are put on cops. And one of them is excessive discipline. So if you think that you're like, and we'll talk about it, but if you think you did something bad, all right, you're possibly going to get a craft, which minor violation, right? It's put in your phone, or the supervisor puts it in his phone and does a craft on you or whatever. And I forget what craft stood for, right? But it's like a minor violation, and then, or you can get a command discipline. So that means you're going to get what's known as a CD. And you kind of accepted that and you moved on. But now all of a sudden, there's additional penalties to these things that's not even associated with command disciplines, right? If you remember, like at A, which is the smallest command discipline, they could take up to 5 days. That was the max. So, all right, I get a command discipline. Yeah, it's a lot. But how many times did you negotiate a CD? And how many times did you really take 5 days? I never took 5 days. So, I think it's seriously, you did take 5 days.
I might have taken 5 days once or twice, but they probably deserve charges.
Well, I guess it depends on the times they were there. Yeah, right. And then you have the BCD, which is up to 10 days, I think it was. And then they come up with the new the C command discipline, which was from an outside agency, and that could be more, I think, up to 15 or something, or whatever it was. But when I took a time where I adjudicated a CD, that was it. I didn't change tours. I didn't transfer. And if I was going to transfer, or if I was going to take, or move somebody to a different squad or something, that's all I did. I didn't do both, right? And that drums down morale. I mean, really does. First of all, a CD to me is the last resort, right? A command discipline is the last resort. You don't need the discipline. There's other things to do. So,
so if you don't have mandatory equipment when you get to the detail, I think that's different than being a little bit late. You know, because we've heard that people will be in hammered with excessive discipline for showing up late, even transferred, right? And then recently, just last week, it came out that 3 sergeants and 2 detectives were transferred for, like you said, because they didn't show up to an all-out detail with their body-worn cameras. So that, I think, is completely excessive. I really, honestly, don't have an issue with maybe them getting a CD sent back to command, and let the CO deal with it. Let the CO handle it. It's a command discipline. You came, you weren't properly equipped. Get a CD and let the command answer to the commander. And see what happens. But to transfer people for the rest of the summer because they showed up without equipment, it's excessive. And in the beginning of the summer, there was a whole slew of people, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 sergeants, 2 detectives, 2, 3, 4, 5 POs from a whole bunch of details that were transferred because they were late. It's reported that they were transferred because they were late to a mobile field force. To me, that's insane.
What I think what Deuce's 300 says there is spot on. And it's a great idea. You have to report to the command post, right? When you get there, and you got to give your information to the sergeant or whoever, or the sergeant gives it to the lieutenant. Why not have a docking station with spare body-worn cameras that somebody can say, well, hold on, hear me out. So just for that day, years ago, I was on a detail, and the guy from counterterrorism gave me a radiation detector. And he said, I'm going to issue to this there was a parade or whatever. He goes, I'm going to issue this to you for the day. Use it. Okay. And I did. And he said, did it go off? And I said, no, it never went off. He goes, it never went off. And then he looked at it. He goes, oh, the batteries are dead. And I said, all right, thanks a lot, man. That really makes me feel comfortable. But listen, I always think, why not make it a little bit easier? Make it a little bit easier for the cops. If somebody forgets a piece of, it's not like they forgot their gun, for Christ's sake. They forgot a body-worn camera. So
Right.
Make it a little bit. I know people who got CDs and were beat upon just for not bringing out their nightstick, made to walk back from the 4-6 precinct back to the borough, to the 4-8, because she forgot her nightstick. I mean, and she got a CD on top of that. So literally go back to the command, walk back, waste a resource. This lieutenant made her waste a resource, made her walk all the way back to the 4-8, the borough, get a nightstick, walk all the way back. You're literally wasting 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. You're putting the police officer at harm's way, walking all the way back. It's ridiculous. And then a CD on top of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
no, I agree that's excessive. I don't think that it's possible to just give a loaner body-worn camera because they're assigned to that officer for the day. And when you download it, it's being downloaded with all your metadata and everything else. So I don't think it's like a radiation detector or a radio or something else where you could just loan somebody for the day. I don't think it's possible to give them a body-worn camera because, if it's used and it's an incident, the cross-referencing in the computer, I don't know that. I think that would be a little bit more difficult with that. Other pieces of equipment, radios, yeah, there always used to be a radio truck, right? Because radios with the battery should be dead. You have to get a battery. Back in the day when we went, you didn't have all the channels for all all the divisions. Now you do. Now the radios, you can change them, if you know how, to different boroughs and different divisions and everything
Yeah,
else.
it's too hard.
But Samara's saying, should you wear a body-worn camera even if the battery is dead? Yeah, to cover yourself, because you have it. If the battery's dead and you could divorce, and something happens, it's gonna show that the battery was dead. But again, because you're on details that are 12 hours, 16 hours sometimes, and the battery's not going to last. So your battery is going to die, and that does come up, and that does come up in investigations. I've conducted investigations for on-duty instances when I was active, and the body-worn camera wasn't available, and it's because it either malfunctioned or the battery was dead. And then you got to look at, why was the battery dead? Did the guy dock it the night before? Yeah, all right, maybe there's something wrong with the battery. Or the guy's been working for freaking 16 hours. He's on a double. He's never got relieved, or whatever the case may be. So, and then Michael M., transfer for CDs. What are the unions saying about this?
I think the unions are all in bed with the mayor and the police commission and everything else. I mean, even the CEA. I mean, I think all the unions care about is what's good for them. They're all self-centered. They want to make sure that they give their money to whatever political action is going to help them the best. I mean, I don't have a high respect and high regard for the unions. I think that they're all thinking about themselves, and that's it. They don't care. Otherwise they would speak up more. But they don't. You don't hear anything.
Yeah, that's the thing that's a little unnerving to me, is that you don't hear things. I know Monroe from the DEA.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
I think it's close to that.
He went to a detail and, had somebody had somebody taping him talking to the detectives that were lined up for the detail. And I want to know, anybody gets a CD, because I'm going to fight it and I'm going to go after them. You're out here doing God's work and standing foot posts and standing tall. If they're going to break your horns for the things they didn't give out, I want to know about it.
Listen, look out after one another tonight. What's going on here? If you're getting written up for some bullshit, tell your delegate, contact them. I want to know about it. Because you know why? You guys are out here protecting the city tonight. Okay? And you guys, I'm sure, want to be in your barbecue or doing what you got to do. And you guys should not be written up for anything. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's 4th of July. You're out here, you're doing your job. So if you are getting written up and I hear any of this stuff, I'll call the chief of department today. I want to know. Okay? Because you guys are out, you're working many hours. You can't close cases. You can't do what you have to do. We're down to 4,700 detectives right now. 4,700 detectives. You're doing double the work. Crime is down, and that's what's going on. I'm not going to stand for it. Okay? I'm telling you right now, that's the way I am. We're down to 4,700 detectives. The last time we had 4,700 detectives was 2005. Nobody wants to come on this job, and that means I can't get more detectives. We can't backfill the squads or where you work. So it's important. So do I want people out here today writing you up? No, I don't want them writing you up. They should be writing you up. So please, take care of yourselves. Okay? Watch out for your partners. And the union's here for you. The union is here for you. So if there's anything excessive, written up today, I want to know. I'm going to call the chief of department right away. I just want to thank everybody for being here. And listen, try to have a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so you yelled and screamed at a detail to post something on X. But let's hear you fight for your detectives that got transferred. I don't see you posting things on X. I don't see you taking ads out in the paper. I don't see you protesting that these detectives were transferred for not having their body-worn camera, that these other detectives were transferred because they were late to a detail. But I want to know personally, me or one of my board members, make sure you contact us. You have my phone number. Okay. And let's see if they
Yeah.
get back to them, like he got back to Marlon, right?
Yeah, right. Yes. He also said he was going to I'll call the chief of department direct. You know, what, I mean, how about you talking and not, you know, getting CDs in the first place? How about that? How about doing the prevention instead of, you're going to talk to the chief of department after a CD's issued? You're not going to, why aren't we talking about the chief of department first? Why he should have been saying in his grandstand, in his video. I already spoke to the chief of department. He's going to filter it down to everybody that's underneath him. That, well, we're going to give warning admonishes, or we're going to be a little bit more caring about the members and understanding the members, rather than just give out a blanket CD.
You've just watched a clip from our live episode. Click the description to watch the full episode. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this.